Hello everyone. So another Q&A. Today I'm going to skim the surface on the very broad subject that is nutrition and give you guys a bit of an insight into how I approach things when people are starting out with making positive changes to their nutrition. So beginning with something that I think very commonly happens with people, and I have seen this from working with various different people over the years, is that it's very easy to get bogged down and caught up in either very restrictive approaches when it comes to nutrition, or be concerned with losing X amount of weight within X amount of time with some sort of fatty approach or fatty diet. Okay. And whilst some of these can work and do work to an extent, I'm far more concerned with looking at longevity and looking at applicable lifestyle changes that can be more beneficial over the longer term, as opposed to things that are going to potentially get you somewhere either over a shorter period of time, but you're going to bounce back and you're just going to yo-yo and sort of peak and trough with that, or things that basically can be way more restrictive and strict than they need to be, and you'll end up feeling like crap as a result and just resenting and almost demonizing certain food groups. So if you're watching this and you are thinking, I'm not sure what to do with my diet, I'm not sure what to do with my approach, what should I do with nutrition, where should I start? The main thing I can recommend to you is having an understanding as to where you are currently with your food. And that might sound silly because you're like, well, I eat my food, so of course I know where I'm at with my food. But by keeping a nutritional log, by doing that, you are then in a position where you're completely accountable and you have a full understanding as to what your daily intake is. There's fantastic apps out there that you can download and use, but to begin with, I'd say it doesn't even need to be that complicated. Have a look at just pen to paper, keeping a log for a week, 2 week period, and just jotting down everything that you take in. So food, drink, all of it throughout the day. And that'll give you a really good insight as to where you are currently. And then have a look at the patterns that are there, because we are creatures of habit, so there will be things that reoccur. And just think to yourself, okay, right, well, what am I lacking in? Am I lacking within consistent protein sources? Do I have much fruit and veg involved? And am I quite heavy in certain areas with the amount of sort of like sugary carbs and stuff like this? So this will give you an understanding as to where you are currently and what your sort of baseline is with your nutrition. And something I think that can work extremely well for people to begin with is starting small, because it can be very easy to look at it and be like, oh my God, there's so many things that I need to change or want to change. But instead of trying to cure all of it and change all of it within one hit, start by focusing on two main objectives. So say, for example, there could be a snack that you're having or something you're just grazing on throughout 5 days of the week. And you could look to either eliminate that because you're thinking, okay, well, actually, I don't need it at all. Or you could look at a healthier alternative for that. So say, for example, if that snack was 100 calories, just for ease of maths here, if you had that across a 5-day period, of course, you've got 500 calories there. So if we were to eliminate that, straight away, you've got 500 calories less in your weekly intake. So that's a pretty big hit, right? Or either that, or you could look at replacing it with an alternative that's, say, for example, half the amount. And then even still, you're getting 250 calories less a week, all right? So these kind of things, along with sort of portion sizes to begin with, can be a brilliant way to kind of kickstart things in the sense that your body will respond to that. And then you can just look at building upon it. So tackling sort of one meal at a time or one area of your nutrition at a time, and building on that, as opposed to it being a case of I need to try and change everything in one hit, because that's when it can feel quite intense and quite overwhelming, and it can almost take the fun out of your food, because food's there to be enjoyed. I love my food, and I'm sure anyone who's watching this will agree that food is enjoyable. And when it comes to the severity of how strict you are with your approach, of course, that is completely down to each individual. If you have a target or a competition or something like that to work towards, then sure, you do need to be stricter if you're looking to make weight, or you need to be, you have a target body fat percentage or anything like that. But this is looking more at the extremes, of course. For those who are just looking to make positive changes with their nutrition full stop and start to reap the benefits of doing so, these small changes to begin with can massively impact over the bigger picture. And that's another point, that it can be very easy just to sort of tunnel in and just have that real kind of, I need to change and brush up on more the short term. But if you look at the longer term, the bigger picture, like I used with that example, if you're changing just to change one thing out of 5 days out of the week, you can create a huge amount of a calorie deficit there, and a huge positive change if that's what you're focusing on with your fat loss. So these are just some really important things to keep in mind when it comes to it, because it can be very easy to get bogged down in, oh my God, what do I do? Where do I start? You know, this article online said that, you know, bread's going to make me fat and kill me. Another one said that milk's the worst thing in the entire world. And you can feel like you're just getting, you know, battered around from pillar to post. So just give yourself some clarity and find out what works for you. But you have to know where you are currently with your intake to be able to tweak and make an impact on that, and then just build positive momentum. So that's the way that I tend to start things when it comes to nutrition with my clients. Yeah, so let me know what you think about that, and if you've got any questions on that. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'm sure I may see you again soon.